I'm Riaz, I'm from GiffGaff. I'm the head of BI and Optimisation there. My first recommendation would be to make every project an experiment. Now, experiments is all about using data to come up with a new idea and then building something that will test that idea, because you really want it to stand up to some form of rigor. Jeff Bezos says our success at Amazon is a function of how many experiments we do. So really you should be trying new things all the time. This is the process that you should go through for experimenting. So you come up with some data, you then make a hypothesis based on this data, you build something to test that hypothesis, and from that you get an experiment which itself generates more data. Recommendation number 2, nail that hypothesis template. So at GiffGaff, we found that some people were taking 30 minutes to register, and we thought something's a bit weird here. After digging, we realized that people were getting stuck choosing a username. So username has to be unique. So you'd come in and try John and be like, nope, John's taken. John 1, nope, that's taken as well. John 2, and it goes on and on and on. So we've had millions and millions of people joining GiffGaff, and finding a unique username was getting harder and harder. So that was our data. So from this, we then built a hypothesis. The hypothesis itself isn't really important. What is important is the structure we use. So having observed something, we believe that by changing something, we will see a behavior change, and we'll know this when the metrics change. And that's really important to get that structure down. So then we built it. So what we did is we removed the field where you put in a username. So now it's just 2 fields. And what we did instead was, in the background, we'd generate a username for them. So that was the build. And then because we did an A/B test, we tested against having a username field versus not, and we saw a 16% uplift in conversion. So that was really good for us. And that's the process. And what you should do is be doing this over and over again as many times as you can. Recommendation number 4 is build a culture where it's safe to fail and be creative. Reed Hastings is the CEO of Netflix, and he says our hit ratio is way too high right now. We have to take more risks. You might be thinking, well, why would you say that you're having too much success? Well, the thing that Reed is afraid of is mediocrity. So if you don't take enough risks, you're not going to find massive success. And the same applies for A/B testing. People think that A/B tests are all about small changes and tweaks, but if you just do that, you're never going to really go up to the next level. You have to take risks to avoid being a Batman versus Superman and be creative as possible. 5th recommendation is to gather your own data, no matter how small you are. I've only got a few hundred people engaging with my app or my website. Can I still do experiments? Probably not, but that's not to say that you shouldn't be gathering data. So you should still be gathering as much data as you can. Every click, every drop down that's been pressed, every field that's being interacted with is a data point, and you should be gathering that and learning from it. You can still learn from others. Every website, every app has words on it, and a lot of the time the words are overlooked. Something that Nielsen Norman Group found out is that 79% of people skim read. Gov.uk, who have an excellent website, they have a reading age of 9, so they don't use, or they avoid words that 9-year-olds won't understand, and they make their sentences really short. All adults find basic words and sentences easier to follow, so they asked, this is gov.uk again, so they asked doctors, they asked legal people, do they prefer the technical terms or do they prefer the simple English version? 97% preferred the simple English. So, keep it simple. And that's my tips for Optimize website. Any questions?